Every single time you shop online or send an email or even just browse the web, there is this invisible force field working overtime to protect you. That force is cryptography. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how it keeps our digital lives from falling apart.
So why do we even need this stuff? Well, you've got to understand what the internet actually is. It is not some secure private tube that sends your data straight to its destination. Nope. It's a wide open public network. Sending information without protection is basically like shouting your bank details in a packed train station. Anyone who wants to can listen in.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do we have a private conversation in a completely public space? How can we be sure that our messages are only being read by the person we sent them to? The answer, as you've probably guessed, is that we have to make that letter completely unreadable to everyone else. And this brings us right to the first big idea, which is basically using a secret code. In our digital world, we just have a fancier name for it: encryption. Okay, so what is encryption? It's just the process of scrambling a message so badly that it becomes total nonsense to anyone who stumbles upon it. We take our normal, readable message, that's called plain text, we apply a secret key, and bam! It turns into unreadable ciphertext. Only, and this is the important part, only someone with the exact right key can unscramble it and get the original message back. But here's the thing, just keeping our messages secret, that's not quite enough. To build real, actual trust online, cryptography has to do a whole lot more. It's got a few other really critical jobs. Think of it like 4 pillars holding up our digital society. First, confidentiality. That's the secrecy part we've been talking about. Then there's integrity, which guarantees the message you received is the exact same one that was sent. No changes. Authentication confirms you're actually talking to who you think you're talking to. And finally, non-repudiation, which is a fancy way of saying you can't later deny that you sent a message. It's the whole package. So how in the world do we achieve all this? Well, the entire cryptographic toolkit really boils down to 2 main ways of scrambling our data. We call them symmetric and asymmetric encryption. First up is symmetric encryption. The best way to think about this is like a safe that has a single shared key. You lock the box with your key, you send the box to your friend, and they use their identical copy of that same key to unlock it. It's really simple, and more importantly, it's incredibly fast. Now, the second method is asymmetric encryption, and this one is, well, it's pretty clever. Imagine you have a special mailbox. It has a slot on the front that's open to the public. That's your public key. Absolutely anyone can come along and drop a letter in, but only you have the private key to actually unlock the mailbox and read what's inside. So you've got 2 different keys that are linked, one to lock and a totally different one to unlock. So here's the trade-off, right? Symmetric encryption is blazing fast, but it's got this one massive problem. How do you get that shared key to the other person securely in the first place? Asymmetric, with its public and private keys, solves that problem beautifully, but all that extra math makes it way, way slower. Which leads us to a really interesting question. When you see that little padlock in your web browser, the one that tells you your connection is secure, which method do you think it's using? The fast one that has a key sharing problem or the slow but safe one? The answer is it uses both. And this is where it all comes together so brilliantly. Modern systems use what's called a hybrid approach. First, they use the slow, super secure asymmetric method for just one single job, to safely create and share a brand new, one-time use secret key. And once that's done, they immediately switch over to the super fast symmetric encryption for the rest of the conversation. It is literally the best of both worlds. Okay, so we've pretty much covered keeping secrets. But what about those other goals we talked about? Proving a message hasn't been changed or verifying who actually sent it? For that, we need a couple more tools in our cryptographic toolkit. Let's talk about hashing. Now, it is absolutely crucial to understand this. Hashing is not encryption. Think of it like a one-way street. Hashing takes any piece of data, a password, a file, anything, and it creates a unique, fixed-length fingerprint for it. But you can never, ever go backwards from the fingerprint to get the original data. It's impossible. So let's be crystal clear on this. Encryption is a two-way street. You lock something, you unlock it. Its job is confidentiality. Hashing is a one-way street. You can't undo it. Its job is integrity, to check if something has changed. This is exactly why it's perfect for storing passwords. A website doesn't keep your actual password, just the hash of it.
When you log in, they hash the password you just typed in and just check if the two fingerprints match. It's a fantastic way to prove it's you without them ever needing to know your secret.
Now, we can use those same clever asymmetric keys for another awesome trick: digital signatures. Think of it like a digital wax seal from the old days. A sender uses their private key to put a unique signature on a message. Then anyone in the world can use that sender's public key to check the signature. If it checks out, it proves two things without a shadow of a doubt: exactly who sent it and that the message hasn't been changed by even a single letter.
So we've talked about all these amazing, complex mathematical tools for building these incredible digital locks. But even the world's most unbreakable lock is completely worthless if you just leave the key sitting under the doormat.
And if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this: the math behind the encryption is rock solid. The real challenge, the weakest link in the entire chain, is almost always about managing the keys. If an attacker can get their hands on your private key, it does not matter how strong your lock is. Game over. They have the key.
This analogy just nails it. All that complex math, that's the lock. But how you handle the keys, that's the locksmith. And a bad locksmith makes even the best lock completely useless. This means storing keys securely, changing them often, and being paranoid about who has access. That is the real soul of cybersecurity. All right, let's do a super quick recap. We've got symmetric encryption, one key, super fast, great for the heavy lifting. We have asymmetric, two keys, used for that initial secure handshake and for digital signatures. Then there's hashing, a one-way data fingerprint just to check for changes. And the golden rule that ties it all together: the entire system is only as strong as your ability to protect the keys. Cryptography gives us these incredible tools to build a world of digital trust. But the math itself can't protect the keys. At the end of the day, the strength of our entire digital world comes down to how well we, the humans, do that job. The security isn't just in the code, it's in our hands.